Good afternoon, and thank you for your viewing of Karen Buxman's video of using breathing and smiling as a means of stress management. I enjoyed reading how you implemented this technique this week in your work, and I trust that you will continue to use this technique in the remainder of the class as well. Remember too, it requires more than 62 muscles to frown, but only 26 muscles to smile, so don't overwork your face. And continue to spread some cheer and laughter at the workplace and also in your home, because it truly is contagious. Your discussion chapter is due on Sunday, so I wanted to go over a few concepts of that before you submit it. So looking at the template, notice that the first heading is the discussion heading, level 2 heading. And this is probably going to be the bulk of your chapter 5. It requires 2 pages of minimum. And this is where you go back to those landmark studies that you focused on in Chapter 2. And you're going to compare and contrast your research results to those. How are they different? How are they similar? What was new? What was unique? And then discuss a little bit why you think your results related or were different than what previous research noted. Again, you're going to write in third person, not first person, but I want to see some good critical thinking here as you compare and contrast your research. In the next section, which will be the implications, that will be your next level 2 heading. You want to be very thorough and practical here, asking yourself, so what? Who cares about your results? And who is going to benefit from them? And how will it make a difference in coaching and teaching, in athletic training? How will it make a difference for counseling, for administration? How could it assist parents? Again, think deeply and be very specific on these implications. And you're going to continue to write in paragraph format, not list format. And you might consider having a paragraph for each different group that would benefit from your study. Again, this is a 1-page minimum, and you want to be very specific and very thorough. Again, asking yourself, so what? How will your research be beneficial in the field of physical education and sport? In the third section, future recommendations, again, we're looking at a 1-page minimum, and it's very clear what the required suggestions are. If you were going to repeat the study, what other inquiries would you make? If you had to repeat your study, how would you revise it? Maybe you would choose to include a qualitative component. Maybe you would choose a different means of administering your research. Maybe you would choose a different participant pool. Again, demonstrate some good critical thinking. When we talk about a study's limitations, we're not referring to deficiencies or faults of the study, but we're just talking about areas that you couldn't control, and these are common in any research. So maybe you had difficulty in gathering the research from your participants because they didn't respond because you had a narrow participant pool. That could be a potential limitation. Maybe the wording of your survey was not clear enough and you found confounding results. That could be a potential limitation. Maybe you didn't have enough participants. So again, think about your study and what you would have done differently. And then talk to us about the strengths. How does your study add to the pool of knowledge that's already out there? What was unique about your study that demonstrates the strengths? If you're not sure about how to articulate limitations and strengths, I would refer you back to the articles that you cited in Chapter 2 to assist you in this area. And then finally, we're at the conclusion. And sometimes the conclusion and the introduction can be the hardest to get us started and to end. And so just to reiterate, a conclusion is where you tell your audience again, what you already told them, but you're going to do it in a very, very succinct way. So instead of writing each of your research questions again and giving the results, just narrate that, do an overarching summary, and I would suggest that you would mind map this section and discuss what each individual sentence needs to include. Otherwise, you'll have a tendency to be wordy and you'll probably have an abrupt ending. Those are usually the most common challenges. So take some time to work on this conclusion section. And then some final thoughts before you submit. If you have the docx format, make sure that you remove some of those pesky additional spaces. And at this point, you can start finalizing your abstract now since you have completed all 5 chapters, so begin to work on that. And now it's time for you to set an appointment with you and your editor, and you're going to start editing from the very beginning and go all the way to the end, making sure that everything aligns with the template. And please, when you're in your chapter 2, would you kindly highlight the 5 new article critiques that you implemented for PE 589 so that I can go directly to those when I evaluate them. So I hope you have a good weekend and are finding some good time to work on this final chapter. I appreciate the encouragement that you guys are giving to each other in the class, and I commend you, and I want you to keep doing that. We're in this together and you're almost there, so work hard. I'm around this weekend if you need to send me a quick email. I won't have a lot of time to do any last-minute edits for you before you submit on Sunday, so if you have questions, please send those to me soon, okay? Have a good weekend. Talk to you soon.